I know a girl, she's so hot, but she loves God.
It's the Ronald Show, starring Ronald, documenting the collapse of life as we know it, as perpetrated by the global military-industrial complex. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Ronald Show, Ronald.
What if a government intelligence analyst from the Pentagon is forced to save mankind from extinction and the world from destruction, but first he must evolve into the Messiah and create the plan to save the world? The 21st century Messiah arrives, battles dark forces, and sparks the Armageddon that leads to the apocalypse, rapture, the 2012 pole shift, and extraterrestrial contact. Buy the book today by Ronald Farnham at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The Second Coming of the Messiah, Book 1, The Awakening.
Good morning and welcome back to the Ronald Show. I am Ronald, documenting the collapse of life as you know it, as perpetrated by the global military-industrial complex. It is Saturday morning, the 30th of April, 2011. Last night I saw some footage of the prince getting married, and it was very ceremonial, very interesting. The groom did not wear a ring. Apparently this prince doesn't like jewelry, so he got married to the bride, Middleton is her last name. He didn't wear a ring. She wore a ring. She got a ring put on her finger, which he had to shove over that knuckle. It was a tight fit. Interesting. As a species, I think that it's possible to say that if profit was not mankind's ultimate motivator, if we didn't live a life completely designed to figure out a way to make more of this thing called money that has been created by our government corporations to purchase more of this stuff, to use more of this stuff, to get more of this stuff. And this stuff is what tells us how valuable our lives are. That's kind of a weird way to determine the value of your life. Don't you think? I mean, is that really, truly what the value of our life is supposed to be about? That's what we're here to do, is to make this green money, these dollar bills, these credits or debits. That's the system that you're living in. So how would your day change? How would your time be different and be used if you were not spending every day, every moment of your life thinking about how you can go about getting this stuff and spending it on other stuff? And what's it supposed to be for? If life was no longer about that, then what would life be about? What would your life be about? If you woke up every morning knowing that you could go to the store and get anything you needed from the store as far as food goes or sustenance, or you could even get some people to come over and help you build a farm because they like to build farms and turn your piece of property into a farm. You can do whatever you want. You can make a phone call and say, I want some people to come over and put a second story on my house. So unlimited resources, so anything that you want you can go get, and it's just commonplace because there's no monetary system. But yet the educational system would still exist, which could start preaching more about the truth about how things are set up. So the educational system could start preaching life without a monetary system, the truth about how the government, corporations had truly been, where we were, what happened, the real history about, maybe the bloodlines of our presidents who have used to run the country. Just a whole disclosure of the truth about, possible alien technology, who shot JFK, all that stuff that shapes our reality over us with an unquestionable authority by us. But we've been programmed not to question the truth about anything and just accept it as fact when it's reported by the media at large globally. And the media is owned by the global military-industrial complex, so all media, except for the new independent media, which is things like what I'm doing. This is independent media. I'm not getting paid by a studio or a distribution company, or a major network to do this. This is my own independent stuff, uncensored, unedited, because it's not owned by one of the companies that are in control, within the large company that you're basically trapped into to get this stuff, to get this money, stuff. That's what it is. It's just like stuff. It's money. We intentionally build products and goods to either be consumed and reused, recycled, or to break down quickly, not to last. But our technology is moving so fast that, the technology that's not on the shelves for consumption yet, that's being researched and developed right now, that's 5 or 10 years from now, or 20 or 30 years from now, is already in existence. There's technologies that you don't even know about that our global military industrial complex uses and has control over, and magnetic power, solar power, nuclear power, burrowing power into the earth. There are huge military, there's a global network of subterranean bases, corporate-owned bases that are owned by the global military-industrial complex, as well as every business part of that complex, every company owner, every billionaire, every trillionaire, every global leader, every military politician, the main ones, they're all part of an interconnected, ancient, ruling species that has control over mankind. And it's been going on for a while now at this kind of corporate level. Our technology is different, and our way of life is very much more synthetic than it ever has been. At least that's what it seems like, based on what I know about history. So, there's technologies that have built bases underground that run on magnetism and nuclear generators. One of the bases is underneath Denver International Airport in Colorado. Underneath the new Denver International Airport. It's called New World Order West. It's 2.5 miles below Denver International Airport. That's where it is. 55,000 square feet. Not 55,000, 55 square miles. Just huge underground cavernous bases, levels deep. And it's powered by 3 state-of-the-art. And state-of-the-art means the technology for these nuclear generators, I guess is what I mean isn't being used by the public. Is a special kind of nuclear generators that's 50 years more advanced than any of the technology that we're using today. And they're operational, and they run this underground facility called New World Order West. It's for the part of the North American continent base. And there are a lot of bases in the United States that are like Denver International Airport. Probably not as updated. It runs on a nuclear isotope, a mercury isotope, and it exists. And those bases are there to provide shelter to these rulers of the planet through their military and police. These rulers of the planet are the ones that are in control of the tunnel systems. And they're preparing for some type of a global change that's going to affect most of everyone on the planet. They are prepared for that. And there are different scenarios that are going to affect life on this planet that are already doing so now, that I've been talking about since day one, that are happening. And a huge tornado in the past 2 or 3 days has completely destroyed towns and cities in Georgia and Alabama, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa. This tornado was 1 mile wide tornado that killed like 250 or 300 people and just took out entire just swaths of towns, just like going through there like the Tasmanian devil and wreaking nothing but destruction. So, and they said it was the biggest, and it traveled, it was a 1 mile wide tornado that traveled 278 miles through towns and cities from Alabama to Georgia and just tore things apart, just shredded them. And, buildings and schools and everything just blasted. Houses just ripped to pieces. 278 miles. They're saying it's the longest in recorded history. The widest, longest swath. This has never happened that we've ever documented. It's just like threw all the tornado records like out the window. I guess they're not expecting anything like that to happen again. But if that happens like 5 or 6 times because we're in some type of a natural occurrence, and these are like super tornadoes, like we're about to get hit, like maybe this happens every 2,000 or 3,000 years, super tornadoes just like, shred parts of the planet, or they just run amok. Suppose we had a whole handful of super tornadoes just go off throughout the United States. Stuff like that could happen.
Have you ever wanted to write a book? Have you ever wanted to write a screenplay? Have you ever wanted to have your great movie idea turned into a screenplay, turned into a movie, turned into a book, and distributed all over the world? Well, now you can learn how to do it with the great new book by Ronald, How to Write a Screenplay in 30 Days or Less. It includes the logline, theme, synopsis, outline, and screenplay of the 3 magic questions. Learn how to write a screenplay in 30 days or less, or your money back. Get it today at Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
So the point I'm getting at is things are happening on planet Earth. One of the things that the government and military is preparing for is the fact that they use nuclear energy because they're preparing for the possibility that the traditional power grid that we're operating, that us humans throughout the earth are operating under, with these big power stations and these transformers and the way they're set up, and our satellite technology that's using our cell phones to communicate and keep the internet afloat, hardwired phone lines. There's a protective barrier around the earth called the magnetosphere, and it protects the Earth from high doses of solar activity and radiation coming from the sun. And if some of that radiation can get into our atmosphere through those holes in the magnetosphere, it can disrupt our power, because the extreme bursts of radiation can fry our power grid, knocking out through these radiated pulses, knocking out our power system. And some power grids have gone down over the past few years. Entire patches of power throughout like a continent, like Canada, hundreds of millions of people losing, maybe 20, 30 million people losing power for a week or so, not several months. Well, what if that happened globally and there was no power? But I'm not saying that's going to happen. All I'm saying is that that's some kind of that's an event that it's not so much that it's preventable, but because we're not going to be able to control the sun, but we can control the type of power that we use and how we use power. I think individual solar power for each home, each dwelling, is the smart way to go about creating a world where loss of power is an impossibility, that we'll be able to have lights and power under any circumstances because we use solar. Solar seems like, to me, the smartest way to go. And nuclear, provided we are using the top nuclear power, the best way to do it. Then I believe we wouldn't really need gasoline. But see, we would still need oil to a certain degree, because oil is made, everything we make pretty much has oil in it as part of its process. Everything. So we might want to reconsider what we're making and how and why. I mean, if the world changes and everything is free, and the monetary system disappears, are we still going to make like plastic bats and balls for 5-year-old kids to play with? You know, basketballs, cars, the way we make them. What goods will we still need to keep if money is not an issue? That's a good question. Ask yourself that. Will you still need a car? Well, you're going to want to travel places, but our travel system might change dramatically. If that happens, you know, you might not even need a car. So we might have different ways of transportation. Anyway, the way to bridge the gap between the way things are now and change over to the way we want them to be is there's 2 steps. Realizing and understanding the situation and how it is and how you want it to be, you know, the current corporate situation, why you're technically, I guess, enslaved or an employee of this corporation, and what it's done to you in your life, and what it's still doing right now, and then the action that you have to take in order to change that situation from the way it is to the way you want it to be. And that second step is basically turning the other cheek, you know, away. You know, you're here, you change your focus over here. And change your focusing means joining a new way of life and a new unity of people globally. And this new unity of people globally is basically everyone on the planet letting their voice be heard, telling us who they are, telling the world who you are, your birth name, and where you're located. And then as you leave one company, which is, you know, the United States Corporation, and give up that whole way of life with the monetary system and the Social Security card and the birth certificate. Keep your birth certificate. That'll, you know, there's nothing wrong with the documentation system of vital records to let people know the history of your life and what you did here on Earth, where you were born. That's great. We don't have to go changing names of countries and everything like that. I mean, things change. Countries' names do change. So, but you won't need your Social Security card number. You won't need an employee number because you're going to quit the United States Corporation, and you're going to join the sovereign unity of mankind, freed from the bondage of a monetary system. And then life as we know it will change because the monetary system will no longer exist, and life will be lived not for the purpose of making a profit and collecting more of this thing. There's something about collecting, and I think we're obsessive about collecting things and this thing called money, which is just the vehicle, you know, the tool to perpetuate and keep in business this monetary system, which is a controlling factor over all of your behavior, every bit of it. So what would we need to keep? Would we need to keep McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell? I mean, I like all that food. I stay away from it. I eat it sometimes. Like, I'll have a Five Guys burger every now and then with some French fries. Because it tastes good, you know? But the quality is unhealthy. So, it's not that McDonald's and Burger King have to go away, but they could make more quality food, because it would be about the price. You know, the price is adjusted because of profit. They make it as cheaply as they can using goods that are processed and processed foods that are cooked and sterilized and homogenized and pasteurized and irradiated and all that, hormones and everything. That stuff is just, you don't even need to eat that stuff ever. In fact, I don't think we need to eat as much as we are on this planet. I think that's what this whole obesity thing is about. So the quality and amount of food that we eat will change. I mean, why do we even really need to eat 3 meals a day? Keep up our calories, right? That's what we're told. And then your subconscious mind gets programmed with the belief that whatever someone is telling you from the medical field is how it should be. The hardline stance is, you know, you gotta have your 2,000 calories a day, you gotta eat every day, you gotta drink water. What if we don't have to really eat and drink water? Remember, this whole reality is thought-based. And your reality is a byproduct of your thought. It's a combination of your thought mixed with your perception of what your exterior reality is, based on light input. Everything is light vibration, and your senses translate this vibration into your reality. You can completely change your reality by changing your thought process. So you don't have control over your thoughts, though, because you are fed rhetoric 24 hours a day, 7 days a week about what's what and who's who and why this way, you know, why it's this way and that way. And it's not designed to make you a better person. It's designed to shift profits from your pocket into somebody else's pocket, giving them your profit. That's what taxes are. And because of the monetary system, that tax money that they take, they use it to buy profit from somebody else, and they shift it around, and they build roads with it, and they build new buildings, and they make parks, and they pay police officers and government employees. All this stuff is geared towards paying these, you know, shifting profit. They take some of their profit, they move it to somebody else's profit. It's basically just debits and credits. That's what it is. It's all debits and credits. There's a spider in the car while I'm driving. Interesting, huh? It just crawled down my leg. Freaking spider. Spiders are not my favorite thing to be hanging around with in a closed environment. It's like, spider, you stay over there, I'll stay over here, cool? Basically, that's the situation I'm in. Just, dude, just don't go crawling on me anymore. Stay on the floor or under the car seat. This is my space. Right here. This is my space. Right here. So, here we are living a life where we are doing it for profit. It doesn't make 100% sense to me. And I'm starting to realize through interaction with other human beings that it's not making a lot of sense to them either. This whole profit thing seems to be causing a whole bunch more harm than good. So there's a spider in here somewhere. And I can't see it. Alright. That's what I have to talk about today so far. I'm driving over to Sarasota. I got a couple of business meetings. And it's 7:15 in the morning. 30 April 2011. And I am Ronald. And thank you for watching The Ronald Show, documenting the collapse of life as we know it, as perpetrated by the global military-industrial complex, of which, if you're smart, you'll be quitting that company, that complex. Because the United States Corporation is a member of the parent corporation, which is the global military-industrial complex. You know, the total control of the planet through law, military, police power, and the monetary system. Goods and services, profit-driven reality. That's what we live in, is a profit-driven reality. Well, what else are we going to do besides, show people how important we are by how much stuff we've made, how much money we've got? Is that your job, is to prove that you're important? I don't know. There's like 6 billion, 7 billion people on this planet. And if every one of us was so damn important, wouldn't we all know each other? Because I think there's maybe 2 or 3 million people in charge of the 7 billion. And are those 2 or 3 million, are they the important ones? The royal family, the Bushes, are those the important ones? And then all the rest, the citizens or the employees, are dispendable. Is that right? Dispendable? Expendable. Expendable. So all the rest of us, we're expendable. It doesn't matter if we stay or go to them, as long as there's enough to keep the system, the monetary system, churning along, right? That's the deal. Keep the monetary system churning along. As long as there's enough people to do that, it's cool. Hell, they want to automate everything, but they gotta have too many people working. I mean, think about it. The employment rate wouldn't be such a big deal. You could either be in school learning something or working in some cool new thing that you have always wanted to get into but couldn't afford. Now you can go for whatever education you want, keep your home, keep your car, keep your family, raise your kids, and do something for mankind and yourself, something that satisfies you and helps man live a better life. Because you're going to still have 24 hours in a day, unless we decide to create a new reality about that. But you're still going to have 24 hours in a day, and with which to use, you'll be able to use that 24 hours in a day, maybe to get more rest, to stay healthier, maybe to exercise as part of your daily routine, maybe to study or meditate part of the day, or travel the world, or learn, or create something. You're a born creator. So what you've been trained to do is create more money based on some type of an activity that might not necessarily be something that you truly want to do deep down inside. I think there are a lot of jobs like that, and a lot of people in jobs like that are doing it just for the money so that they can buy more shit. people standing behind a register taking money from people to buy more stuff. You know? When you grow up, do you really want to work in a mall? I mean, we could automate the distribution process of everything and have very few people having to work those types of jobs, but if they did, it would be very short. I don't know. I'm sure we have the technology to automate everything, so that we have all the goods and services that we need without having to work for them at all. Automate travel, everything. It would change the world, change your reason for being alive, because the monetary system definitely dictates the way you live your life, period, 100%, every time. There's no doubt about it. It's a part of everything you do. Just imagine how the world is going to change when the monetary system disappears and there's no more stress over scarcity. Because that's what we stress over, scarcity. Scarcity to whether it exists and you can get it, or scarcity of the amount of money that you have to spend to get it. The less money you have, the less you can get, the more feeling you're disconnected from fruitfulness. And you're a born creator. There's no reason to feel the stress of poverty and the strain of overworked for less than what you feel you're being told you're worth. We're all worth the same as far as life is concerned. No one life is more important than another life, whether it's an animal or a human being or anything. It's all part of the same fabric of existence. If all of existence was a bed sheet, the bed sheet as a whole is what's important, and every fiber keeps it together. So consider that when you kill another bug or another animal or anything, or chop down an old tree. It's all part of the energy of our entire physical existence, the fabric of our being and existence. It's all the same energy. But everything we're programmed is born, lives, and then dies, and then goes and is recycled someplace else in another way, in another existence, whether it's heaven or paradise or another life, or into the ground to feed the worms and the trees. So after this, we supposedly go someplace else, either from where we came, or some people believe there's nothing. You just go into darkness, and you don't even know that you don't know. It's just the end of some kind of a sentient existence on this earth. And the universe is vast, so if there is some type of a reincarnation, then and time is infinite, then I think you know, and the soul is everlasting in this infinite time, an everlasting soul in an infinite universe, this life then becomes more, almost not, I guess, insignificant, but who knows? Because we don't really understand, I mean, I think the vast majority of us don't understand the true nature of time and what the current theories are. But then again, everything's a theory. You know, is time really going in a straight line? Some people theorize that everything that's ever happened at once. And if you can step outside of time, which is hard to conceptualize, having no time. Because we're indoctrinated into the time frame of living by our very existence, the nature of our existence. And that's something that if you give it a lot of consideration and thought, can be a little bit strange to think about. Everlasting life in an infinite universe, with the not understanding the true nature of time, can cause, a lot of confusion, I guess. The main thing you want to understand is where you are and what you're experiencing right now. You're living on planet Earth in this time frame, in the year 2011, because we're documenting every day since Jesus Christ died. That's how we keep time. Somebody died, and we're like, all right, we're going to start time now. This guy saved everybody's souls by dying for us. So his death apparently was special and did something for our souls. So we live in an infinite universe with an everlasting soul, we're told, that never dies and is infinite and will experience, I guess, everything. I don't know. Everything that's possible. Just think if everything was possible and your soul was going to live a life for every single person on the planet. And that was like just a drop in time. Doesn't even matter because time's infinite. And so this whole life could be a game. You go through a series of like billions of lives just on Earth in like a 2,000 year period, where you learn you live everybody's life and it's pre-programmed. Who knows? Remember, the chaos theory is in effect everywhere. Chaos. If each person's life is dictated by destiny, then, which means that their destiny is predetermined, like it's like pre-recorded and then played or programmed into a computer, then that would mean somebody has to actually be programming it, like something. But if life is completely chaotic, where there is no plan by this thing, where it just turned a thing on and it said chaos is the way, everything is just chaos, meaning that there's no order to it, and then the chaos will cause coagulation and events to, in an unpredictable way, happen. Our thoughts being chaos too. I mean, do you carefully select every thought that comes into your head every day when you're speaking? It's like an unconscious flow that just comes out of you, because there are so many thoughts going through your head that you don't even really know it. You just know that you're channeling speech and you're improvising every word that comes out of your mouth. Do you think about every single word? No, it just comes out. You get a train of thought going and it just pours into this verbal emission of what you're thinking, but yet it's not every thought. It's carefully somehow buffered up to the surface, and then you speak it. It's chaos, right down to your words that come out of your mouth, because the origin of the behavior is unknown, and there's no way for us to see where it's going. We can plan our day out, but inevitably chaos is involved even in that plan. And your plans these days are based around what's important to you. And what's important to you is earning profit. When earning profit does not become your primary reason for being, your whole world will change completely.
Now available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble is Harry Johnson, Diary of a Gigolo Porn Star. The crazy adventure of a 1951-born male in Beaufort, Georgia with a 2-foot penis that grows to 3 feet. He goes on to become an international porn star after becoming a war hero in Vietnam. Get it today at Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
Should I see if I have any email? Nothing significant. What's significant will change. What's important to you will change, because without a monetary system, your reason for being alive will change. 100%. What you watch will change. Where you live can change. Just think you could live wherever you wanted. I mean, there are people on this planet, pretty much everyone, we are only permitted to travel out of our country with the permission of the government, with the corporation that we work for. We got to tell them where we're going and why. And they have to know about it. And then they have to approve us going. So you got to get approval. And then you're only allowed to go for a certain amount of time. You're only allowed to go for like a few months. Unless you go for a specific reason and stay longer, like a student visa. And then if you don't leave after a certain amount of time, you can be locked up and put into a prison, like a jail, like a holding cell, where your freedom of movement is restricted because you didn't follow the movement laws. I mean, I don't even understand why that whole system's in place. Right now, the reason they're really pushing it for even more control over it and documentation is to control terrorist activity, I guess. They don't want people blowing stuff up because people are mad at the government. I can see tracking our movements. Like, if you had a human being ID card instead of a social security card or a credit card, you just show your human being identity card and go, hey, this is the human being who I am. Here, look, this is where I live. See how nice. You can have a nice picture, you know. This is my name when I was born. And you can have a conversation with somebody about how important your life is. But it doesn't have to be about controlling your movements because we don't want people leaving our company without our permission and going spending their profit someplace else for the other company. No, you can only do that for a little while. So now it won't be about controlling where you live and who has the most employees. It'll be about accommodating people to live their dream life and have fruitfulness and love and low stress and a joyful living experience. How fast you drive will change. You won't have to be there on time, because nothing will be as critical as your time allocation will be different. 24 hours a day will be yours to use as you wish, not how others wish you to use it. Do you use all 24 hours every day for everything that you want to do? Or is a lot of your time going towards what other people want to do so that they can either want you to do so that they can either give or take profit from you? And most of the time, you're basically trading off your time for some type of profit sharing agreement, whether you give your profit to them in the form of purchasing stuff or devoting your time. Because remember, your time is money, right? So say for instance you're worth $10 an hour and you take 4 hours and watch TV, well, you just spent $40 sitting there because you could have been using your time for profit. Instead, you just gave away your time to the TV. And that's how they made their profit, by getting you to watch. Demographics, right? Or you go to your place of employment and you spend your time there. So you trade your time for more of this profit because you're going to get paid $10 an hour to be there. So in everything you do, you're either spending your profit or making a profit, because your time is worth the hourly rate of that profit. Hot air balloons. I see hot air balloons up in the sky. I'm driving towards I-4, going through, I just went through Kissimmee, just left Melbourne, 7:37 in the morning on Saturday, April 30th, 2011. And this is the Ronald Show, documenting the collapse of life as we know it, as perpetrated by the global military industrial complex. And we are discussing the state of life as we know it on planet Earth, and why we're living in a society that operates on a monetary system and is all about deriving profit, which we have discussed is what you live for every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're either giving away your profit or taking profit from somebody else. It's a shifting of greenback resources, money. And that is your purpose in life, as you've been indoctrinated into your corporate structure, the United States Corporation, or whatever country you live in that's posing as a government, but is really a corporation that runs that country or state. And just think about it. You live under a local government, city laws, state government, and federal national government. And it's all the same company, which is with, separate LLCs, I guess, separate sub-companies under it, doing business as. Ask yourself if you still want to work for that company. For the transition to happen, everybody has to leave the company. Then, because if it doesn't, then it turns into a civil war, I guess. Because the people who leave the company and tear up their Social Security card will not be able to get any more profit, because they won't be able to work their jobs, because the requirement of having a job is having a Social Security number. You can't work in the system without a Social Security number. That's why illegal aliens are called illegal aliens. They're just other human beings, but they're not allowed to legally earn money on the debit credit system with the bank account and all that stuff, because they don't have a Social Security number. They're not an employee of the company. So you have to fill out the paperwork and be accepted by the company to be an employee of the company. And they do that based on your background investigation, I guess, and the reason that you're here. But don't you think it's more... doesn't it seem like it makes more sense for anybody to be able to live wherever they want and do whatever they want to do? Instead, there's this finite list of jobs that has been created that you got to try and get, and even if you don't like it, you got to either train for it or just do it, and then they'll pay you whatever they think that you're worth. So they get to choose how much you're worth and how much food and goods and services you get to purchase based on the market marketplace's decision on how much you're worth, your value to them, your perceived value to them, to the company. And it goes right on down to the private corporation business, the private business hiring people saying, I can only pay you $9 an hour, the economy is bad, times are tough. That's what people are saying. Times are tough, the economy is bad. Isn't that what you keep hearing, right? That's what I keep hearing. Times are tough, the economy is bad. And that's right, like right now, gas prices are almost at gas prices are at $4, over $4 now. Gas prices are over $4. A gallon of gas used to be like $1.79, and that was expensive, because I remember when it was $1.09, and that was maybe 20 years ago. And then it went up to $1.79 and held there for a long time. And then in the past 4 years, Bush and Obama, during their presidency, from like 2008 or 2009, 2009, gas prices started going up crazy. They went up over $2, and we were like, wow. And then to $2.50, wow. And then all of a sudden it just started steady climbing from $2.50 to $4 now over the past year or 6 months. But nobody said wow. We're just like, we're screwed. Basically what's happened is the people have gotten used to being screwed by those in control of resources. One of those resources being profit, another being oil production. So that's the situation. Letting the fresh air out, a little bit of fresh air in and out. See, I'm trading air. Inside air and outside air. Oh, that cools it off in here a little bit. It's chilly. I did not bring warm clothes. I didn't bring a jacket. Not a good idea, I think. There's no clouds in the sky today, and it's cool out. April in Florida. It was kind of warm. Now we got a cold spell. Thank you for watching The Ronald Show, documenting the collapse of life as we know it, as perpetrated by the global military-industrial complex. I'm your host, Ronald, and we've been talking about profit and eradication of the monetary system by everybody disenrolling from their government corporation. I think it's almost time for me to buy a cup of coffee. I have a meeting at 10 o'clock at 7:45. I'm probably going to be an hour early. I'll probably be a half hour early to the meeting. But I'm definitely a candidate for some coffee, or maybe a 5-hour energy drink. That's probably what I'm going to get. 5-hour energy drink, way better than coffee.
Olivia, where did Ryan go?
I don't know. Where could he be? I don't know.
Where are you? Did he go to Aztec?
Yes.
Where's Aztec? Is that near Aztown? Where did he go?
He went to Aztown.
Aztown?
Yep, he went to Aztown. He went to Aztown.
Where's Aztown?
All the way to down the street.
Down the street?
Yeah, you have to look. Like far.
Are you sure Ryan went to Aztown?
No, I am not. I'm just kidding.
Where did he go? He went in the house? Where did you say he went at first?
Because I don't see him.
No, but where did you say he went? Asstown? Ryan? Hey, go check in the house and see if Ryan's in the house. Please.
I'm gonna ride my bike.
Olivia, where's Ryan?
I know he's in there.
Are you sure? Ryan?
He's in the house. Ryan! Ryan!
Will you go check in the house? Let's go check in the house.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! There's one thing.
What the heck are you doing? All right, it's time to find out if Ryan's in the house. Do you think he's in the house?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Well, I just think that. I just do.
Oh, really?
Where is Ryan?
Yeah? Ryan here?
Is Ryan in here?
Yes.
Jesus Christ, we've been looking all...
I just asked for about him. He didn't come here for a long time. Huh?
Okay, because we're irresponsible. All right?
Responsible?
We're irresponsible. All right? Sorry. Okay? Yeah, irresponsible. So what? You know? I mean, what am I supposed to do? Huh?
I'm not allowed
I'm
to
irresponsible?
have
Fine. Fine, lock me up. I don't care.
You're not responsible.
I'm not irresponsible. I'm not. Look, let me tell you who's irresponsible, okay? All right, look at me. You're irresponsible. All right? Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Now it's all my fault. See, she always wants to blame me. You gonna blame me now this time, huh?
I can blame you every time.
Every
You're
time.
not responsible.
I'm not responsible. Tell how responsible. I didn't mean to break the window.
Kids, stay still, please.
Hey, get out of here. You got to get out of my office. Get out. This is my office. This is my office. This is where I do everything. There's the computer. It's where I write movies from, TV shows
Yeah.
about world government domination. Get out of my office. Get off the couch. Sons of bitches, man. I think they just want to make us pissed off, right?
Look. I'm gonna tell Grandma.
Hit her.
You're gonna get into trouble.
Whack her in the face with the mop. There's nothing like mop in the mouth.
Ryan, stop.
Just smack him in the mouth with the mop, baby. Just give him a little mop mouth.
I have to finish my job.
Just give him mop mouth.
Ryan,
Oh,
it's
gross.
dangerous. It's a chemical.
Ooh, he took voluntary mop mouth.
Okay, I'll stop doing it.
Ryan,
It's
Will
a
you
dangerous.
take him
Ronald,
inside?
take him to water hand. It's a chemical. Ryan, Ronald. Ryan, it's a dangerous. It's gonna kill your hand. Go wash your hand right now. Right now. Right now.
this is what chocolate cake does to kids.